Hello everyone and welcome to part 44 of this chess puzzle run series where you can solve puzzles along with me. So let's solve some puzzles today. Alright, let's see here. Okay, it looks like white has just moved here, putting us in check. And let's see, we need to figure out what to do here, what the best move will be. Um, it doesn't look too good. The queen's attacking us. You know, if we try and run up here, we're going to lose our rook next. So, with check if we go here to e6. So at any time, if you need to pause the video, go ahead if you want more time to think. And remember, solving tactical problems, doing puzzles will help you improve your chess. But probably the best way to do tactics is to get a list, a group of tactics, and maybe start with 50 tactics problems and go through them, nice and slow, and then speed up, maybe cut your time in half and slowly reduce the time and try and go through those puzzles about 7 times in a row. So by the 7th time, you're really going through them pretty fast and it kind of burns them into your memory. But, doing this type of puzzle here, where you just do them once and move on, that's better than not doing any tactics problems. And these are pretty fun. And you get to see if you can make your rating climb up anymore. Okay, back to this problem. What can we do here? So we're in check. We can't block, with the queen, or the queen will just be captured. So when you're in check, the king either has to capture the attacker, block, or the king has to run. So it looks like we have to run. Maybe the best move is to just put the king down here. That's a possibility. But then the queen could capture on the other side here. And then threaten a check and then capture our rook next. So, what else is possible? If we retreat to d8, the rook could capture. Then, to keep the game even, we would recapture. And then we could have a check by the queen. But, then we could start running. And we're ahead in material, so I think we'd be all right. The only problem is if we retreat here and the queen captures on the other side, threatening to attack on this side with the queen on a8, is that going to cause problems? So if the queen does move and capture the a7 pawn, do we have time to start attacking our opponent's king? Well, let's look for checks. So we could go queen to f4 and deliver a check, but our opponent could try to run. If he went here to g1, we could just check him again with the queen. Then if he comes back, then what do we do? Let's see. All right. King to d8. Queen captures over here, threatening to check us on a8. If we start delivering checks, would it be any better to move here? And then if the king moved here, we could threaten a check again, maybe here. All right, well, I think I'm going to move the king down. All right, so now we have another check. Um, and this was one that I wasn't expecting. So that's an important point when you're solving puzzles, is try to look for all the checks so you're not surprised. Okay, so now, do we run again? We pretty much have to go here because the rook will be captured. Let's see. If we try and run away, the rook will just be captured. But, if we go here, we could be checked again. And then what do we do? If we try and run up here, there's a threat of mate with queen to d7, and our king would be trapped on e6. So, this is pretty tricky. Well, all right, well, it's not looking too good. What should we do here? If we jump up here, the rook or the queen could check us down here. So we go here, check by the rook, and then what do we do? All right, I'm going to move here. And that's not what they want. Okay, well, let's go back and see if we can figure out what they want us to do. So we're checked. What is the option? If we don't go here, do we give up the bishop? Probably not. Well, either that or give up the rook. But if we give up the bishop, the pawn could just capture. And then we could go here and capture this. All right, I guess I overlooked that maybe. All right. Well, I definitely overlooked that possibility. Okay, that was pretty instructive. Just trading off those rooks by blocking with the bishop. Okay, I hope you did better on that problem. Let's move on to the next one. I'm already stretching this video out pretty long. So, all right, the knight has retreated, attacking our bishop, threatening to capture this bishop on c4. So what should we do here? The bishop has a nice line up to this square here. Is there some kind of threat with sacrificing our knight if the knight is captured? And our queen jumps up here and attacks. There could be a block, but then I don't see a follow-up to that. Well, there could be this other option where you capture here. If they capture the knight, okay. Well, then we just check. If there's a block, then we take the pawn and pick off the rook. So what are the other options? If the king moves forward, okay, I think that's probably it. So I think it looks like if he just captures here, then I guess we could just, do we recapture with the knight? If we recapture with this knight, or do we just check here? All right, anyway, we'll start off with that. Now, do we check here immediately? If we were to check and they block, well then, We could capture with the knight. Ah, but there's this threat also right here. Okay. So probably we want to, I don't know, this is kind of tricky. Do we just go ahead and check here? Let's double check everything. So queen to h5 check. What if the king just moved forward? Well, then do we jump up here with the queen? Then the king would escape to here. Then we could capture. So this queen move looks pretty good. If we go there, now what if he blocks with the pawn to g6? Well, then it looks like we could capture. So I don't know, I'm going to go with this. And then looks like we should just capture. And now we can capture this rook, or we can just continue to attack here. Would that be better? So our options are to just take this rook, or check here on g6. So what do you guys think? Should we just capture with check? The king would be forced to move here. And then what? We could jump here, forcing the king over. Then we could capture here with check, but we could be blocked. Now, if we go ahead and just capture this rook, we're also threatening this knight as well. All right, so now we can take the knight. All right, and we're also threatening a check here to capture this pawn, and the knight's kind of trapped in here. So, all right, well, I hope you found that, and let's move on to the next problem. All right, what do we have here? It looks like we just had a queen retreat back here to help guard the king, attack these two pieces, and the knight was attacking the queen, so the queen had to move. So what do we have here? Well, is there a queen sacrifice? Do we have a queen sacrifice? So if we were to move here, sacrificing the queen, does that get us anything? It may, but let's take a look. So queen sacrifice on f2. And when you're trying to solve problems, it's usually a good idea to look for the most forcing moves, which are usually checks. So capture the pawn with check. The king would be forced to move here to f2. But, then what do we do? Well, we could do a double discovered check by moving the knight here. But then what if the king just moved back here where it was? I don't really see a good continuation after that. So, what is another option? Do we just check here? Is that it? It's that easy? So queen to e4 check. And it looks like that works. All right. Oh, there's a block. All right, so now it looks like we can move the knight with check here. And the queen will be pinned, and then we can capture the queen. All right, so I think that's the best move. Then we can follow that up. See, the king is being checked here, by the knight. the queen can't move because we're pinning it. So if he captures with the pawn, then we can move, capture his queen with mate. All right, so hopefully you found that one. Let's move on to the next one here. Okay, what was that? A lightning quick move here. I didn't see if it captured something, but the rook moved over here to h7. What does the material look like? So 4 pawns versus 1. We both have bishops. We both have rooks. So white has all these extra pawns. What can black do? The white king is kind of closed in here and trapped in a stalemated position. So, if we could deliver a check, so maybe, well, and the rook is attacking us here, attacking our bishop. One idea may be to move the bishop here to f4 and then threaten a check by capturing his bishop. And this bishop can't move because it's pinned by the rook. But the rook here would be able to capture this pawn, leaving an escape square. And then what would we do? All right, and these white pawns are marching this way. So, bishop to f4, setting up a threat of checkmate, but the rook would be able to capture the pawn, which is covering this g4 square, and the king would be able to escape out here. But then what could we do? Check him again. All right, I think that works. There. Oh, they don't want that. Huh. All right. Well, let's take another look here. What do they want instead? Oh, they probably want us to just capture immediately with the bishop, or even better, just move the king down and trap the other king. Okay. And now we can mate. Okay. All right, I guess I moved too fast. Let's move on to the next problem. And I hope you found that last one. Okay, what do we have here? What has just happened? The black queen has moved over, blocking this check that we had on the king. So, how does white continue here? How can white press an attack? Well, let's see. What does the material look like? I mean, it looks like we could just pick off this knight for free. But material-wise, we have, we would just be behind in material by what, a pawn maybe? Okay, so do we just capture his bishop here? Capture with check. The queen could not capture, so the king would have to capture to keep things even. And then what? We check again with our rook. Or we could check over here. Okay, well, I think it would be best to keep the king stuck in the center here. So now that he's stuck in the center and isn't able to castle, we can either bring the rook over to here, or our queen could jump up to here, forking the king and this other rook. Maybe that would be a good option. But, what would happen next? Let's see. If he goes here, we could capture. All right, so maybe that's better. Although we should look at this. Rook to d1 check. The king could just start running. Maybe to here. All right, I don't know. I'm going to go this way because then we could pick this off right here, and check him again. So, but, we have this threat on us, a fork here. If we go here and he moves out, we can check him again. So we'll just capture. And if he moves again, we can just check him again and then pick off this knight. All right. Well, I'll move on to another problem here. King has just retreated into the corner. Okay, and we see a fianchettoed position without the bishop here. So there are weak dark squares here, which maybe we could take advantage of by moving this dark squared bishop up, pinning the knight, or even moving here, attacking the rook. Do we have anything better? Let's see. Well, if we threaten to pin, we can go ahead and pin the knight to the queen. If we threaten to go here, well, the king could just step down in here. Well, then we could attack the king with check, and maybe get the rook. But I see another possibility. So let's say we move the bishop to g5, try to pin the knight. If the knight jumped out here attacking our queen, I guess we could capture his queen if he attacks our queen. Do we just capture him? All right, make sure there's nothing else that I'm missing. I don't know. He could even just attack here, taking the pawn and attacking our queen. So I'll have to look a little bit deeper. So when you're solving a problem and you think you've gone far enough, it usually pays to try and go, one or two moves further. So bishop to g5, and then the knight is pinned. So let's say the knight captures here, attacking our queen. Well, then what do we do? Because then our bishop would be under attack as well. So, we'd kind of be forced to capture the queen. Then if he captured our queen, if we, attacked his rook, if he captured ours, we captured his, then what? Does he try to run? All right, I'm going to go for it. So it looks like we're forced to capture this queen, pretty much. All right, but now what do we do? Now he's threatening to capture here. So if we take him, he can just capture us. But then what do we do? Do we just capture this pawn? Do we move here and threaten? Maybe that's what we have to do. Move here. If he captures us, we just capture him. And I don't know, we're just down material. Down a pawn, I believe. So, I don't know. Do we have to pick this off? Capture. If he captures us, then our king has to move. I don't know. Do we immediately attack here? If he captures, then we can capture. Oh, the check. The check. Remember to always look for checks. That's how you can escape. And then we capture. Okay, and then we're ahead in material. Okay, lesson learned in that one. Watch out for checks. Look for those checks. All right, let's see. I'll do one more problem here. Okay, we just had a capture of a piece here by this bishop. But white seems to have a lot of pieces piled up on the king side here. So, this looks easy enough. Do we have any immediate threats? Capture the queen, check. All right. Well, it looks like we just capture here. And then, now, oh, well, no, I don't know if that works. We just go here, maybe. All right. And now, we pull the king over and then capture here and then threaten to go here. That's one possibility. So sacrifice the rook, pulling the king into the corner, allowing us to capture here, and then the threat of moving here. Okay, material-wise, 5 pawns to 5. He has the extra bishop. We probably don't want to just capture that bishop. So, sacrifice the rook. King is forced to capture. We capture. And threaten mate here. He could try and move here and block up this way. I don't know if this works or not. So, oh, if he moves, well, then we just have an immediate mate. So anyway, we'll continue on. Capture. We're threatening a mate here. And if he moves now, we'll have mate. If he moves to D2 to try and cover and block here. And if he doesn't, move this bishop here to block, what's his other option? Move this pawn, and his queen would have to block, and then we could capture his queen. So it looks like it would go that way. Pawn move, allowing the queen to block over here. Then we could just move, take the queen, then get ready to pick this pawn off. Well, probably go after the bishop. Just pick off the bishop. So he'd have to, anyway. All right, well, I hope you found that. I'm going to end the video here because it's gone on quite a bit. So remember, studying tactics will help improve your chess, but maybe a better way to study tactics instead of just doing a few random problems like this, although these are good, these are better than nothing. Studying some tactics randomly is better than not studying any at all or doing any chess problems. But what will really improve you or improve your chess is if you do what I mentioned in a previous video. The fastest way to improve your chess is to set up a series of tactical problems. Maybe start with just 50 and work your way through those. Make them easy at first, maybe one move checkmates or one move tactical problems, and just go through them. Take your time the first time, then try and limit yourself on time and go through them again, maybe giving yourself only a few minutes to look at them, and then cut that time in half and do it about 7 times. Go through those problems until you can just instantly see them and you almost memorize them, and they'll kind of get burned into your long-term memory by repeating the tactical problems over and over again. And hopefully that'll help you remember those more often in your games, and you'll see more tactics when you play in your chess games. All right. This video is going on pretty long, so if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to leave comments or suggestions or requests if you want to see any specific videos that you would like me to do, and I'll try and do a video for those requests if I get the time. If not, just send another comment with a request reminding me, hey, can you do that video, and I'll try and get to it. All right, thank you everybody, and have a great day.